Am I the asshole? For telling my sister I wouldn't be able to attend her wedding before she even sent an invite? My sister and I were super close until 3 years ago. This was around the time she moved in with her fiancé Martha. They spent the entirety of lockdown at Martha's family estate, and something about my sister changed. In that time, she became less considerate of what people can and can't afford, and generally became much more obsessed with making everything big and expensive. Her wedding is no exception. She is getting married at some really fancy resort because her future Phil knows the owner. They are setting a specific dress code, an expensive one. Because of the rules of said resort, anyone who can't afford to stay there would need to make a 30-40 minute drive to get cheaper accommodation. There are even more details that I can't even wrap my brain around yet. The dress code was where I really started to understand it might not be feasible for my family. There's my husband, 2 kids and I. We don't wear designer stuff or couture, so we have nothing to pull from, and looking at prices, it's a lot. Plus money for gas to drive. Plus money for accommodation. I brought this up to my sister the first time she painted the picture of the wedding. She told me we could drive down with her and her fiancé, and I pointed out we would need to be able to drive to a cheaper hotel or something. She said we could get a 2 discount on staying there since I'm her family. She also expressed that there are sales on a couple of sites where we could get clothes. It would still be expensive, but she feels like a few $100s off overall will make a difference. I asked her if we could reasonably dress nice within our budget and still get in, and she said she wasn't entirely sure and we were better off playing it safe. My husband and I sat and did the finances, and we realized it was just a lot for us. We're not wealthy. We have 2 kids to think about and a household to keep afloat. We talked about just me going, but my sister really wants our kids there. My parents mentioned that they were looking at a loan to afford everything themselves, and that's just 2 of them. Ultimately, I decided it wasn't worth all the stress and financial strain it would cause us, and I told my sister we would not be able to attend. I told her I love her and would like to celebrate her marriage, but the wedding is not something we could afford. She brought up the fact she was able to help me with some discounts. I told her it was not enough realistically. My sister said I should try harder to be there as her sister, and I could ask for more help if I need it. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Guests should not have to go into debt just to attend some lavish wedding. Not the asshole. What crazy dress code requires specific branding? Your parents shouldn't take out a loan either. My parents mentioned they are looking at a loan to afford everything themselves. Not the asshole. It's a destination wedding you and your family can't afford. Not the asshole. I may be biased though. My little brother married a woman with a lot of money. They did a destination wedding. I priced it all out, and even with my parents offering me and my wife and our daughter $2,000 loan, I would have needed another $3,000 to go. I told him, bro, I love you and I am happy for you. I want you to have the wedding of your dreams, go and have fun and make beautiful memories. I will be there in spirit. We have not spoken since. Not the asshole. If someone wants to put on a wedding that is that expensive for the guests, then they should be understanding that many of those invited will not come. If this isn't that expensive for your sister and she really wants you there, why can't she help pay? Also, I can't believe she is happy to let her own parents go into debt over this, or that your parent are willing to do this. Not the asshole. If sis wants you there, she pays. Or stops complaining. And her champagne tastes will take a severe drubbing if she fiancé ever separate. Not the asshole. It's her day. And if she wants this huge expensive gatekeepered wedding, that's fine. But it's also fine for you to not financially burden your family just to attend. The fact that your parents are having to consider a loan not to help their child with their dream wedding, but to attend said wedding, is mental. Not the asshole. My sister didn't go to my wedding in Spain. Nothing to do with cost. For all my relatives who traveled from England to Spain, we paid for their hotel rooms. If they are really that well off and she really wants you there, then she should pay for your hotel room. Info. What is the specific verbiage on the dress code? You kept it vague in the post and your comments so far. Venue specification for designer clothing? Bullshit. If this is true, not the asshole, but the expensive dress code, what? Are they checking clothing labels at the door? You can buy a formal gown for $50 on Amazon, and the offer of a 2 discount makes me suspect that this isn't real. Not the asshole. Firstly, you have not received the invitation yet. Secondly, you are free to decline an invitation for whatever reason. Your sister cannot expect you and your family to go into debt in order to attend the wedding. If she is not willing to cover some of the costs or compromise, stay home. Not the asshole. I'm curious how many people of the guest list would be able to afford this wedding. If her own parents have to take out a loan, she really needs to take a hard look at the situation. There's nothing wrong with wanting a lavish and expensive wedding, although not my style, but when you're planning such an event, you need to be aware some people wouldn't be able to afford it. She should have been prepared for that and either accept her family can't come or cover the expenses, if that's possible. Not the asshole. Your sister needs reality check. It's a shame it has to be during her wedding, but this is her fault. And you should know that something like this has to happen. If not now, then in the future. Until then, she will expect everyone to adjust to her lifestyle and budget with vacations, dinners, Christmas gift. Not the asshole. Your sister is making her wedding more about the luxury than the family. I know it's her day and she should get what she wants. But if what she wants makes it that hard for important family members to attend, she should think a few things. Your parents getting a loan? That broke my heart. Does she know about this? She should at least cover for them. You have your priorities, and as much as you love her, it doesn't make sense to waste money so frivolously. Definitely not the asshole. You're just being a responsible adult with priorities. I hope your sister can become more flexible and considerate so the whole family can attend. This sounds like a crock of shit. The story is made up or you are looking for an excuse not to go. The part that stands out as excuse making is seeing a 40-minute drive as a barrier. The part that screams made up is the bit about the dress code. Hard to imagine a place where a suit and tie wouldn't be acceptable. I could see guests getting turned away for showing up in jeans and a t-shirt, but then you'd be squarely in the wrong for expecting to show up to a wedding like that. They've got a team professional tailors at the door checking tags and measurements. Okay. 2 discount? Lol. You do not need designer duds to look reasonable for this club or wedding venue. Your sister, if she wants you there, could also meet you halfway. Not the asshole. It's one day and her day at that. I can't believe that even your parents are considering going into debt over this. That's up to them. OFC. Stand your ground and don't accept any "if you loved me" bullshit. If she loved you, she'd understand that your family's longer-term well-being has to come first. Not the asshole. It sounds like your sister has lost sight of the value of money. Perhaps it would be easier to explain it to her by percentages. She talks of a 2 discount. Show her what the cost of your family attending her wedding would be against your monthly income. It just might get through to her that way. Not the asshole. You don't owe anyone your presence to a wedding, especially if you're financially unable to. It's also understandable as to why you wouldn't want to ask for help, especially if it won't actually help that much.